Hello everyone. Today, a little bit of a different video. We're going out to a town just north of Nashville to look at a bunch of cars that a family has collected over the years. They're all on Facebook Marketplace Nashville. I'll show you links to them in the description, but they're all very interesting. They've been sitting a long time in the woods, and I find that stuff fascinating, and I hope you do too. So let's go. Hey everybody, today got a little bit different content for you. I found a cache of old cars in Middle Tennessee that are all for sale, and they're going to go quick, so I'm going to show you a video of the lot and every one in a little bit of detail so you can make a decision if maybe one of these is what you'd like to buy. So these are all out in the woods. They've been owned by one family over the years, and most of them are the 50s and early 60s. We have a little bit of nose here. I think that's from an early Chevy, but all the rest are complete cars that are out here. There's a Ford V8. I think this is a 55. It's been hit in the front, unfortunately, but like all of the ones I'm going to show you today, there's still good stuff on them. This one, not as much. It's obviously been here a very, very long time, but there's still some good stuff. Like the gauges, for example. All in good shape. It's got a heater. Steering wheel, I mean, I don't see any cracks in that steering wheel. Fortunately, a tree's fallen on this one. The axles are gone. Ford Town sedan. Automatic transmission. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Wow, what a piece of wall art that would make, huh? Look at that. Don't know what it's to, but it's old. And there's the grill for the Ford right there on the back seat. The brake drums. I don't know if that's for this car or not. This one is admittedly pretty rough. I mean, these are parts cars. Unless you're very ambitious, these are all parts cars, but you know how scarce parts for these cars are getting. I'm not sure what that is, but it's ancient, one-cylinder engine. Let's take a look at the engine. It's apart, unfortunately. The wiper arms are still here. I can't tell if that blade's original or not. Oh, this is neat. I didn't know that these were clear on these Fords. I never knew that. Okay, moving on. This is a Studebaker truck. I'm not up on my years of Studebaker trucks, but this is really cool.
It's a 1-ton. Interesting, it's still got the side mirror. Door handles, door. The door doesn't open, I'm not going to force it. But the frame is rock solid on this thing. This could be a really neat truck. See inside, it's complete. It is complete. Rough, but complete. Not much play in that steering either. Isn't that interesting? Let's see what's under the hood, if I can get this open. I can. Wow. Wow. It looks to me like maybe someone tried to get this going years ago and the plugs snapped off, as they sometimes do in these flatheads. They snap off. I'll show you what I mean. There's the plug, and the bottom of it is probably still threaded into the block. So this block is probably solidly seized, but the carb is still on it. That has got to be rare. Got to be. The radiator is in it. The horns are in it. Look at that. All-state adjustable voltage regulator. I've never ever seen that. Old school solenoid. Yeah, this thing is very, very complete. Very. I mean, that radiator alone, if it holds coolant, it's got to be worth some money. I like this one. Moving on, we have a 58 GMC. This is the 1-ton model, 250. This was used as some kind of pipe truck, plumber's truck, something like that. And it's still got the original, well, not the original, the add-on pipe holders on it. The pipe sits in here and it goes all the way back. So this thing could carry some really long pipe. This is a neat truck. Bed's still there. Rear bumper's still there. With the pintle hitch. Wonder what this bed floor is like. Now, this corner is not rotted through. Let's try over here. This has some problems, but it's not. I've seen worse. The GMC I sold recently was worse. That door doesn't open. Neat mirror. This is, you probably can't see this on the camera, unfortunately. Maybe on the other side, but it's complete. All the gauges and everything are intact. It's even got one of the hubcaps still on it. Hubcap here too. the old air cleaner. Oh yeah, unfortunately it's gone. It's rotted. What do we have here? Oh, look at that. Another hubcap to it. I'm gonna put this inside of it. This one's in better shape than the others. So this thing is every hubcap. And this running board is in good shape here. Put the hubcap right there. See if this door opens. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. But the vent does. So you can get an idea. I mean, inside, the floor's got some rust. There's a valve cover and a rocker panel on the floor. So the engine might be apart, but it's intact. This thing is neat. This also has the wiper blades on it. They all have wiper blades on them. I don't know if that's original or not. Certainly looks it. Ooh, hood opens. Let's see what's going on in here. Okay, the head is off this one too. The starter is still here. The carb is still here. The radiator is still here. And there's some good stuff here. Like, for example, these fuel lines often are damaged, removed, cut, whatever. This one hasn't been touched. This would be a cool truck. Needs a lot of work, but if you need parts, like this hood is in excellent shape. Excellent shape. Look at that. Look at the old T3 headlight. I bet a bunch of these, yep, this has 3 T3s in it. I bet a bunch of these vehicles have T3s. Yeah, this hood is in really good shape. Then we have this. This is, I think, a 53 Chevy. It looks like a 54 in the back, but the front looks like a 53. So I'll go with that. And here's the cool thing about this one. It's got the accessory bumper guards on it. What I have learned over the last few months of filming cars with these is these are pretty highly sought after. And you know, on this side, this is really in decent shape. It's one of the better ones I've actually seen recently. Huh, wow. This one has a power glide as well, which, you know, aren't the most common transmissions around in these early Chevys. Yep, look at this. This one has it too. And although it's a bit underground, well, unfortunately, this one is damaged, unfortunately. But the other side is good. The trunk has a transmission in it. I can't tell if this is the transmission that goes with the torque tube or not. I can't see the back of it. It looks like it is, but maybe not. Maybe not. It might be a newer, there's a Holly carb there. Holly 2-barrel. Interesting, there's a clutch as well on the floor. So I don't think this transmission is from an early 50s car, and certainly not this one, since this one's a power glide. This trim is in really good shape. Look at that. Really good shape. Bel Air emblem. Here's a piece of trim here. And this trim is not the easiest stuff to find. And this car has a spotlight. I wonder if that's factory. And look, the glass is in it. Look at that. Wow. This is probably, well, I don't want to say it's factory because I don't know, but it probably is. This thing inside, the dash is intact. All the gauges are intact. I don't think the door opens, so I can't really show you that, but you take my word for it. Not that much play in the steering on this one either. I always check that now because these old Chevys have that thing called a third arm, and if that third arm wears out, it's a real hassle because they're hard to get, they're hard to rebuild. Wow, that is really sunk in the mud. Let's see if the front has those accessories. Bumper ends. It does not. It does not, only on the back. Look at that, how cool. How cool. Looks like it might have been a yellowish green and then painted black. Don't know if I'll be able to get this hood open either, but you can see the rot in the hood in the middle. Oh, I should have brought my Creole with me. Okay, so engine's intact but no head on it. Oh wow, this one still has a 6-volt battery in it. This one might have been driven in here, who knows? It's still good. Unfortunately, the windshield's cracked. But some of the other glass is still good. Got the radio in it. Very neat. Very, very neat. More trim. Because the trim is stainless, it's still clean up. It will still clean up. These vehicles will need a rollback to get out, I would think, or a lot of work to put tires on them and get them up in the air. I don't think you'll be able to get them out with a trailer. But with determination, anything is possible. This is a Dodge, and pardon me if I don't know much about it. Early 50s Dodge. The entire bumper assembly is in good shape. The grill has one ding in it here, but this bumper is amazing. It's not on the ground, except at this very end. Wow, this has got to be worth something. This bumper, it really is not bad. That Dodge emblem. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, the hood opens. It's got the horns. Yep, flathead engine's intact. This is probably around a 52, 53, but I really don't know. Radiator's in it. Carb's still there. It's a pretty neat car. Let's take a look inside. There's no windshield in it. Wow, chrome. I don't see that too often. Old bias ply tire. Yeah, we're not getting in this one, but we can get in through here. Just like every other vehicle here, there's nothing smashed inside. I love that the knobs are steel. On the Chevys, the knobs aren't, and they deteriorate. These really aren't bad. They're really not bad. That's a neat little feature. My 59 truck has these too, the fold over piece to conceal, to keep the rain out of the keyhole. How's that for amazing? Taillight lenses on both sides are fine. I don't know if you can get these aftermarket or not, but if you can't, there's a couple right there. All kinds of stuff in the back, including a gas tank, which may or may not belong to this thing. Oh wow, there's the gas cap. I don't know what the gas cap might be worth, but there it is. I'm gonna put that, well, unfortunately it's damaged. Unfortunately. This rear bumper, I can't tell what shape it's in. It does look like it's got a ding in it right there. This thing has backup lights. I'm willing to bet this is a fairly well optioned Dodge. I don't see that very often. This side does have the door panels. It's got rain guards. It's got an incredible mirror. Look at that. The glass is good on this mirror too. There's even some reflection, so it hasn't lost the silvering. Wow. Look at that. You can see the reflection in the mirror. This mirror is still usable. And look at the style. Look at this, is in really good shape. A tiny bit of pitting here. This thing is in amazing condition. Even if you don't own a Dodge, that is awesome. Let me check the other side while I'm at it. Coronet. Yeah, the mirror's over here too. The glass is missing out of that, but it's not the end of the world. You can see a nice piece of circular glass will fit in there really well. But as far as condition of the chrome, this one has more pitting than the passenger side. But again, very usable. Very usable. Wiper blades here. Yeah, this is neat too. This is neat too. Now we get on to 40 Chevy, 46, 47 Chevy. This is pretty neat. Pretty neat. This thing, old Westinghouse taillight. A GE on that side and a Westinghouse on that side. Wouldn't it be cool to put a battery in this and see if those work? This thing has dual spotlights. This one's not too bad. The glass is good. Unfortunately, the windshield's broke. Tree fell on it. Maybe fairly recently too, because there's some bare metal there. Heater switches. Yep, look at that. That's an original Chevy heater there. It says deluxe on it. That's pretty rare in and of itself. This was a neat car. And it's coupe. It's a two-door coupe. Fleet Master. It's rough, but it wouldn't make a cool hot rod. Being a two-door coupe. And look at that. The rear window is in good shape and ready to come out. You wouldn't have to worry about breaking it, getting out. Oh boy, the frame on this one is gone, unfortunately. Wow, what a bummer. Look at that, that's a gas tank right there. That's a bummer. Old All-State tire. Man, it shows you how long this has been sitting here. Let's see how many lugs are on this thing. 1, 2, 3. 6 lug wheels. I didn't know that these had 6 lug back then. Another mirror on the floor. Not sure what that's to. The seat is still in it. Let me see if I can get you another view of that heater. Huge clock. That was not a trend they carried into the 50s. Clock got smaller and smaller. The glass is still in this spotlight too. It's really a neat car. This hood is not going to open on me. Yes, it is. Okay, so this engine is missing the radiator. The carb is there. Don't know if that's original or not. But looks like the original air cleaner assembly. Block is complete, but very rusty. The valve cover's off of it. Fuel pump is down there with the glass ball fuel filter. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. There's some parts in here that are useful. Again, the fuel line. They're often hacked. This one is fine. Okay, moving on. Really 50s Ford here. I'm going to guess and say 52. Ford had the V8 ahead of almost everybody, and this has it. It's probably the flathead V8. I'll check in a minute. Look at this. This still has the original bottle for, I don't know, what was that? It's kind of old to be washer fluid. And it's kind of small to be radiator. So what is it? I don't know, but we don't want that sitting outside where it could be ruined. It's got its fair share of rust inside. This was a cool car when it was new. Two-door custom. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. This tree has grown right up into the door. The door was maybe partially open and the tree just grew right up into it. It's pretty wild. So if you come for this one, this tree's got to come out. It is quite buried. Quite buried. Almost up to the top of the wheel well. Again, why I think a rollback is the way to go here. Rear windshield's good. I mean, if you need one of those, there it is. that says hip room in Nashville. The bumper, I can't tell if it's straight or not. It's completely buried and it might be rusted out. Whoops. Yeah, this trunk is pretty bad. Yeah, that's not opening. This would have been a neat hot rod in the day. Two-door coupe with the V8. There's also some old hubcaps out here. I don't know what these are to. Maybe Yuzu, that looks 14-inch, maybe Mercury, I would guess. This looks like Oldsmobile, like 1950 Olds or something like that. This one, I have no idea. But there's neat stuff like that out here too. See what's going on under the hood. Okay, not much. There's no engine in this one. So not much going on here. Let's take a look at this bumper and grill. Nice. Really not shot. This bumper and this grill are both salvageable. The headlight surrounds on the driver's side is salvageable. Isn't that cool? Yeah, this bumper is quite salvageable. It is not on the ground. Okay, this one is already sold. This pink Crown Vic, pink and white. It's pretty cool car. Not going to spend any time with that because it's sold. This one might be my favorite. I think it's a 54, maybe 55, very 55 Ford wagon. This one was driven in here. Thunderbird V8. And I just like it because it's so rare. So rare. I believe this was used as a work vehicle. So if you have a wagon and you need things like headlight bows, right, which people tend to take out and throw away when the headlight deteriorates, there's some in this. Looks like a full set. That looks like either an old welder or a battery charger. Very decent bumper. Very decent. Tiny, tiny crease right there, but a very nice bumper. That tow hitch is on the frame, so no damage to the bumper from it. And the rear glass is good. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, that's a welder. That is an old welder. That might be worth something itself. Look at that. Where are you going to find one of those if you need it? In this condition, there's not a mark on it. Completely intact gauge cluster. Boy, this was quite a vehicle. Stick shift. Station wagon with a stick shift. Don't know if I can get the hood open because of these trees, unfortunately. But I'll try. Because this engine might be intact. No, it's not opening, unfortunately. But that'll be a question for the owner, whether the engine's still intact. Headlight surrounds on this one are fine. Look at this. Accessory covers on the top of the headlights. I thought that was a fairly modern idea. I guess not. And that is the Ford wagon. Another vehicle that's out here is this 977 cat loader. This thing is fantastic. Of course, growing up in construction, I was around these things all my life. And this one's from the 60s. The owner is not sure what year it is, but it was driven in here. Of course, it's a diesel. It was driven in here. The pony motor's been removed and it's been converted to electric start. And the reason it was driven in here is only because the shaft on this front track wore out. So that needs to be replaced. Now it was driven, there it is right there. It was driven in here a long time ago, but these cats are tough. And I would not be surprised if this thing can be got running. As long as water was kept out of the engine. But the bucket's intact. And like I say, it's mostly intact because it was being used a long time ago, but it was being used. And I know there's enthusiasts out there for this stuff. And of which I'm one, but I don't know enough about them to ever restore one. Sorry for the shaky video. It's tough to get at this thing. But it's also not too far into the woods. So you could get a construction trailer in here to get it out. Hasn't been vandalized. All the glass is in place for the gauges. Wouldn't it be cool to get this thing usable again? There's a data plate on it. Let's see if I can crawl up here to see what the data plate says. Oh, it's not a data plate. Okay. That is, but you can't read it anymore. Quite a view from up here. You feel pretty powerful. Okay, so that is the cat that is also for sale. This one at the moment is not on Facebook Marketplace, but it will be soon. Near the Cat 970 is this 49 case tractor. So many tractor enthusiasts out there that like to restore these things. This one is pretty neat. Unfortunately, it may have gotten water in the engine because that's rusted away. Maybe not. It's a 4-cylinder. Can't really tell if there's water in there or not. But it's complete. PTO in the back. This one was driven in here as well, just like that Cat 970. See if I can get to the front of it here. Yep, that's the front of it. This thing's pretty neat. Restorable, or a good source of parts. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Or it's even good lawn art if nothing else. It's not too big and not too small. It's a good sized tractor. So we're down to the last two in the collection. A 47 Chevy. I showed you the nose for this earlier. So you can see here the data plate. This would make an awesome hot rod. Between the two of them, they're both 2-doors, both 47s. Make an awesome hot rod out of it. That tree is not falling on it, it's just growing around it. Rear is still in it. Still torque tube. Those old Huck brakes. The frame on this one looks okay. I mean, it was so solid back then. The trim is good. Like the other one, the rear window is good. I'm not even going to bother getting that door open because I don't want it to stick open. But the inside, it looks like the gauges, at least one of the gauges is missing, but the clock is in it. And with the nose, again, you lift this body off, throw it on an S10 frame or some similar vehicle's frame, and there you go. You got a neat little hot rod. Yes, it's a project, of course, but it's not impossible. Last one is a 65 T-Bird. This is the newest of the group by far. And this one, if any of them could be salvageable into a driving car, it's this one. Jack it up, put some tires on it that hold air, it'll probably look completely different than it does now. It is got some rust, but it's straight. Right, look at those body lines. That is straight. Nothing has fallen on this one. This rear bumper appears to have never been hit. Never had anything backed into it, never been hit. That's not too common. Usually these at least have little dings in them. This one does not. Somebody drove this car carefully. Back window's in good shape. It's complete, not messed with. This is not a junkyard, by the way. This is family property. So these things haven't been pilfered. Let's get a look at the front. Ow. It's tough going in the front of this one. pretty sure the engine's complete in this one. A complete 390. I don't think I can get the hood open, but I'm pretty sure that's what I was told. Oh yes, I can get the hood open because it's not latched. Oh yeah, that is complete. Even the air cleaner's still on it. And it's got AC. Wow, that hood is heavy. Real steel there. And you can tell clearly this has not been here as long as the others. It's got much more modern headlights. That's a power beam. I don't know what that is, Atlas. Not familiar with that brand of headlight. Sylvania, no name. This front bumper needs chrome, but it doesn't look like it's been hit either. Not that I can tell. Okay, gonna see if this door opens. I'm not gonna force it if it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Cool. All right. So here's what it looks like inside. Almost totally complete. One piece missing out of the console, which is probably in here somewhere. But the floors are not great. This seat is laying back here, maybe because the floor, I don't know, maybe not, hard to tell. But look at those seats. They're dirty, but it's not ripped. Neither is ripped. Radio is still in it. Yeah, this one could be saved. It really could. I don't know what those seats are worth, but it's not nothing being blue. And they're the wraparound seats. See that back seat, how it wraps around? It's a pretty unique feature. Again, this is, these seats are in good shape. They're just dirty. Fix that right up later. I don't want water getting in there. Even the hubcaps are still on it. This one really could be saved.
I hope you enjoyed the video today. A few things about these cars. They're all cheap. They're all on Facebook Marketplace. At least most of them are. The links to the Facebook Marketplace ads are in the description of the video. They're mostly parts cars, as you saw. I don't believe any of them have titles, but the owner could confirm that. And they're not being sold off. They're not being parted out. If you want a tiny piece of trim on one of them, you got to buy the whole car. But as I showed you, there's a lot of good parts on these cars. And if you're looking for something, you may strike it rich with this, and maybe not. But hopefully, even if you don't need parts or you're not interested in the cars, that this was an enjoyable video for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. The channel wouldn't be where it is without your help and support. Have a nice day.